Check, 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 1, 2. Check, check. Hello, 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 hello. Today, I'm going to continue my series called Watchlist, which will consist of 3 exclusive personal recommendations that I already think are fantastic to watch and are definitely worth being on your list if you haven't already seen them or haven't seen them recently. I'd love to know if there are any movies on the series that you actually dislike, so please be vocal in the comments and let me know your thoughts. But before we get started, I would like to thank my patrons for their support, and if you would like to be a patron today and help support my channel, just use the link below. And starting off today's watch list, I'm recommending the 2012 action sci-fi Dredd, starring the massively underrated Karl Urban. Mega City 1 is a vast, violent metropolis where felons rule the streets. The only law lies with cops called judges, who act as judge, jury, and executioner. And Dredd is one of the city's most feared. One day, Dredd is partnered with Cassandra, a rookie with powerful psychic abilities. A report of a terrible crime sends Dredd and Cassandra to a dangerous area controlled by Mama, a drug lord who will stop at nothing to protect her empire. This sleeper hit goes against the grain as it flexes some serious dazzling effects that puts the gore in gorgeous. For the comic book fans, this story is an accurate and faithful depiction of the most intimidating judge to ever walk the crime-ridden streets. Even if you've never read the comics, or luckily never watched the previous interpretation, you will still be presented with a tense, claustrophobic thrill ride that is loaded with action, solid acting, and food for thought on what it would take to close off crime at its heart. Made with a modest budget of $45 million, this film was a disappointment at the box office, only managing to bring in $41.5 million. Another victim to poor marketing and comic-fatigued audiences, but still received critical praise, with Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 79%. Next on the list is an older classic from 1998 that has a special place in my heart, and that is The Truman Show, with the impeccable Jim Carrey and Ed Harris. He doesn't know it, but everything in Truman Burbank's life is part of a massive TV set. His life is broadcasted worldwide and adored by millions. Executive producer Christof orchestrates The Truman Show, manipulating his life to improve the ratings and appease the critics. But as Truman gets older, all the coincidences and strange occurrences start to take shape as he begins his search for truth. While this may be pure gasoline to fuel the paranoid, this film is stunning in every way. Seeing the more serious side of the comedic icon Jim Carrey, the mesmerizing score by Philip Glass, the breathtaking set pieces, and the original screenplay that is a banquet for the heart and soul. This is one of those films that ages like a fine wine and keeps drawing you back for more. Created during a time where people were starting to wonder the effects media would have on people's lives and the lengths producers would go for the sake of entertainment, The Truman Show is groundbreaking in its concept translated to film. Can happiness be constructed or controlled? Can love be convenient, or does mystery attract the soul? So much discussion to be had from this wonderful film. Made with a solid budget of $60 million, it raked in $264 million and was praised by critics, with Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 95% and Metacritic 90%. And last but certainly not least on today's watch list is the 1999 drama thriller Fight Club, starring Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and Helena Bonham Carter. A depressed man suffering from insomnia meets a strange soap salesman named Tyler Durden, and soon finds himself living in his squalid house. After his perfect apartment is destroyed, the two bored men form an underground club with strict rules and fight other men who are fed up with their mundane lives. Their perfect partnership frays when Marla, a fellow support group crasher, attracts Tyler's attention. If you're a sucker for psychological thrillers and controversy, this film is one of the godfathers. With the legendary David Fincher at the wheel, there is no dull moment. You are given so much to process and ponder that you miss so much, which only brings you back to rewatch it again and again. While there are serious, heavy-handed nihilistic undertones, the story is told at a brisk pace that showcases pure wit and mesmerizing charisma while maintaining a grounded approach to a subjective reality. This film broke new ground in the industry and pop culture alike that made the rules of Fight Club a household adage. I personally think this is Brad Pitt's finest performance that complements his limited palette. Made with a budget of $68 million, with 17.5 of that going to Brad Pitt, Fight Club held its own to bring in $104.5 million worldwide. I am Jack's utter lack of surprise. This controversial classic riddled critics, with Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 79% and Metacritic a 66%. So that's everything for today's list. Let me know what you guys think and subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned for more episodes to come.